Action Comics, issue 403. Extra, Return of the Vigilante, plus Superboy. Attack of the Micro-Murderer, and the Man with the X-Ray Mind. I warn you, donors, as we begin the transfusion, your blood will save Superman or kill him. But we have no choice. It's a risk we must take. Far back in the dim recesses of the Ice Age, a savage killer is executed by his tribe. In the 12th century, an entire kingdom watches their queen's assassin put to death. During the winter of 1775, a traitor faces a firing squad during the Revolutionary War. And a century ago, a ruthless desperado pays the maximum penalty for his crimes. Would you believe all four of these culprits were, in fact, the same criminal? Turn the page and you'll see him die again. Superman. Lost control of my getaway copter with Superman right on my tail. I must have caused that fleeing bank thief to panic. The crash was too sudden for me to prevent it. Attack of the Micro-Murderer. Blast you, Superman. You're making me die a humiliating death. Mark my words. A Zot like me has lived and lost many lives, and I have many more ahead of me. Someday, in another of my lifetimes to come, I'll summon you from the future, where I'll be ready to take you on again. He's gone. My telescopic vision shows a police plane is on its way here. What a strange threat that was. The thief obviously was delirious. But that night, within the mighty Arctic citadel, Superman calls his Fortress of Solitude, where he often retreats to meditate. Can't get that dying crook's death threat out of my mind, all because of one word he used. I programmed my supercomputer to supply me with all available data on the word. There, the information is coming through now. The Zont, a magical wraith being that has existed in this solar system for centuries. Inherently evil, it must occupy the bodies of other living creatures, turning them malicious for the rest of their lives. But once a host body has died, Zot must occupy another life form within 24 hours, or the wraith will expire. Zot is able to penetrate every known element in the solar system except sulfur. So that culprit wasn't delirious. Every word of his threat may be true. But how long do I wait before the Zot strikes at me again? Weeks? Months? Years? Next morning, as TV reporter Clark Kent works at the Galaxy Broadcasting System, great Krypton, my desk suddenly become red hot, and it's shaking. Wow, what was that? And my shirt being burnt. I have to think of something right away to stop people from running in here after hearing this explosion. A split second and the action ace preserves his secret identity. Experimenting with sound effects tapes, do not disturb. Clark must be working on that upcoming documentary about nuclear warfare. What a relief. For a minute I thought there was a bomb here. This is a temporal transmitter. My voice is coming to you on March 28th, the day after I died, trying to escape you, Superman. It's the Zont, but it's a female's voice, and that device caused the explosion. You're hearing me from the year 3486, where I exist in another life. If you don't follow the transmitter back through the time barrier, many innocent people will die in this era, I promise you. After Superman uses his powers to rebuild the desk, it's starting to disappear. My foe must be pulling it into the future. I have no choice but to break the time barrier at super speed and follow. But what is waiting for me in 3486? The answer is cold, still, and lifeless. Great suns. The Zot occupied the body of a woman this time, but my super senses indicate she's already dead. And she died only a few moments ago too. This microphone, no doubt, was hooked up to that temporal transmitter. For some reason, the Zot purposely waited until she was dying, then summoned me. But why? Suddenly a new sensation of scathing pain sears every fiber of his body. It can't be, but it is. Maybe the Zot has found a way to get back at me after all. Now I'm starting to feel weak, queasy. How did you manage to attack me? What form of life are you sponging off now? Only silence greets his questions. Whatever you did, Zot, it's very effective. I already have a raging fever, but that won't stop me from tearing this place apart until I find out exactly how I was weakened. Bah! A lot of good it does to be a Superman in this era. Technology and science of the year 3486 are so far futuristic, I wouldn't recognize the cause of my malady if I found it. Abruptly, automatically, a strange screen rises from the floor. This video message was pre-recorded before my death, Superman. Huh? The same female voice that summoned me through the time barrier. If you're wondering how I cracked your invulnerability and weakened you, the credit goes to this remarkable woman, microbiologist, whose mind I occupy at this moment. With her scientific genius, I've spent years synthesizing and nurturing a certain species of microorganism. I had to sacrifice her life to infect you, but I'm sure it's obvious by now your body is already poisoned. The microbe is a fantastically deadly strain which will prove fatal, even to you, Superman. At most, you have 2 more days to live, Superman. Enjoy them. That fiend must have forced her to subject herself to the microbe, knowing it was fatal. When she died, the Zot actually transferred itself to the microorganism in her body, and then, like a germ, it passed from her into me. That's why the coffin was open. Literally racing against time, the Man of Steel superspeeds back to his own era, 1971. The fever raging within my body is growing hotter, but so far my superpowers haven't been affected. Kandor may be my one chance to beat this thing. Kandor, the microscopic city of Krypton, which Superman keeps in his fortress, containing the only survivors of his home planet. The advanced medical skills of my people may provide a way of removing the bug from my bloodstream. The microwave tunnel has been activated, starting to shrink me into the bottle. But at that very moment within Superman's bloodstream, I can't see what Superman is up to, but this blood vessel I'm flowing through is getting smaller. How ironic. The mightiest mortal in the universe is about to be demolished by a microscopic speck, a one-cell killing machine. I'll put a quick stop to his plan, whatever it is, because I'm blocking his aorta artery. My magical nature makes me immune to the shrinking effect. A split second later, terrible pain. Must be a danger sign of a heart attack. Shrinking will kill me if I don't destroy the microwave beamer with my heat vision. As Superman regains his normal size, I underestimated the Zot, but what did I do I fight with next? Kandorian Super Security Force calling Superman. Please explain your hostile action and purpose in disrupting our microwave beamer. It will take weeks to repair it. And after the action ace explains the microbe menace, from what you've told us, your one chance is a Kryptonian transfusion. But without that beamer, we have no way of transporting any of our super blood up to you. Doctor, what about Earth blood? Drop for drop, it can't compare with our blood. However, if a huge quantity was somehow pumped through your veins at a fantastic rate, the microbe might be flushed out of your system. But this would require hundreds of gallons. Where could you get so much blood, Superman? Next morning, an urgent message interrupts the regular GBS TV program. Look, Mummy, it's Superman. And how sad he looks. I wonder what's wrong. Shh, we'll find out, dear. I come to you today not as a superhero, but a man who is suffering from a fatal illness that will claim his life in the next 24 hours unless something drastic is done. My one hope of survival rests with you, the citizens of Metropolis. I ask for able-bodied volunteers to donate a small amount of his or her blood so that I can give myself a super transfusion. I can't promise your blood will cure me, but if I do survive, I shall be eternally grateful and continue to defend you from any and all threats. My life rests in your hearts. Within the hour, every hospital in the city is jammed with eager donors. My son was badly wounded in Vietnam. He needed a critical operation within minutes. Superman flew the one specialist who could save him to his bedside. I used to be a small-time thief until Superman caught me and vouched for me in court. He got me a suspended sentence, and now I'm working at a good job. Both my parents were killed by the atom bomb that fell on Hiroshima. Since then, Superman has strived to convince world powers to ban nuclear weapons. My school burnt down last spring, but Superman built us a better one. You people can't donate blood, only young and healthy. You're holding up the line, young man. Superman's life is worth any sacrifice. We can't allow you to give any more blood, Miss Lane. You've already contributed double the usual amount. I don't care. I'd gladly give all of it. If Superman dies, I don't want to go on living. Finally, that night. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. Call it living proof of how much Superman means to us all. It's love, hundreds of gallons worth. Before we begin the transfusion, Superman, I must warn you, when the bloodbath passes through your system, it just might take your own Kryptonian blood with it and kill you. And I say it won't mix with my super blood, but just filter through. Only one way to find out who's right. Let's go, Doc. The massive pump Superman constructed begins its work. The man of steel abruptly stiffens his body, sustaining a blood pressure terrific enough to rip apart a 100-foot dam. Look at him jolt. Superman may finally have taxed his power too far. A fantastically fast, staggering gush courses through mighty Kryptonian veins like a microscopic tidal wave. Only seconds later, the surging tide of blood has passed the majestic Kryptonian body, lies calm, dangerously still. Did the transfusion help him or harm him? He's not moving. But then the super patient rises and removes the tubes from punctures made by his super hard fingernails. Superman, are you all right? We got rid of the microbe? My foe is resourceful. That titanic flow of blood almost washed me out with it. But I sensed what was coming in time to take refuge in this lymph node, away from the bloodstream. The killer still circulates inside me. There's nothing left for me to do but say goodbye to Earth and wait for death to claim my body. Listen how shaky his voice is, and he seems to be burning up with fever more than ever. He's a sure goner now. Soon, on the Stanhope College campus, student Linda Danvers, secretly Supergirl, listens to the tragic fate of her cousin. And it was obvious that Superman's condition had deteriorated even more when he made his farewell address to the world an hour ago. I'm the only other Kryptonian on Earth, yet I can do nothing to help him. A transfusion from me might have saved him if our blood types had matched, but they don't. His body would only reject my super blood and hasten death. I must face the truth. Tomorrow, Superman will be dead. That night, the dying action ace looks at the planet Earth for the last time. What a spectacular tribute. Certain cities across the country have turned all their lights on to form an S emblem in honor of me. If I am to die, mankind itself will have to carry on my fight against evil and injustice, or the human race will wipe itself out. Only have a few more hours of life left. Time for me to journey to the special burial ground I chose for myself. I already took care of all the arrangements. And it's exactly 3.5 hours later that the great super heart remains still and beats no more. I did it. Superman is dead. His heart has stopped pumping blood. Now I can leave this disgusting microbe, occupy another form of life, and gloat over my triumph. At last I gained the vengeance I sought so vehemently. But when the magical wraith being emerges, Superman tricked me. He came to a desolate, totally lifeless asteroid to die in outer space. There's not a life form for millions of miles that I can occupy now. Suddenly, the evil Zont senses a face and a voice. This was pre-recorded before my death. You killed me, but also unknowingly doomed yourself. Without so much as a molecule of life to thrive on, you'll perish in a few hours. Either both of us live or both of us die. If you want to live, then re-enter my body and occupy my heart. Your magical powers can start it beating again, but you'd better decide before it's too late. He leaves me no choice. I'll revive his heart for now, and figure out another way to destroy him later. Then, unexpectedly, he took the bait. Had to drain all my remaining willpower to stop my heart prematurely, a full hour before I would have actually died. With a lightning move, the Action Ace rips open the chest of the other Superman, and you're trapped forever, Zot. This synthetic heart contains sulfur, the one element you're powerless against. While you concentrated on my message, my deathbed flipped over so you'd mistake this android for me. Now that you're out of my system, my bloodstream's super antibodies have already wiped out that microbe, and you'll never have another chance at killing me. And it is an anxious Superman who streaks toward Earth with the speed of a light beam. This little planet may have a mess of problems, and it's no paradise for a superhero, but it never looked better to me than it does right now. The end. Superman, a secret chapter in the life of Clark Kent. You are the world's mightiest super being, returning from a journey to a distant star. Mission accomplished. It'll be good to get back to home base, but that is not your Arctic fortress, nor the Galaxy Broadcasting Building, but Metropolis University. I've got a real heavy schedule today, for you are back in your college days when Clark Kent was still a student. Thank heavens for this old storm drain which leads into the university basement. Then in an unused storage room comes the shock of your life. Better hurry, Mr. Kent, or you'll be late for your class. Great sons of space, someone knows I'm in here, and whoever it is may also know that Clark Kent is Superman. Beware, Superman, your most precious secrets are up for grabs, for this is the eerie day when you will come face to face with the man with the X-ray mind. But Clark plays it cool. Why, it's Mr. Lundgren, the janitor. Mr. Lundgren, how did you know I was in this storage room? It's simple. You see, I have this bucket, and just then, it's my psychology teacher, Professor Borwin. Oh, Lundgren, I accidentally threw away a batch of exam papers. You must help me find them. Don't worry, Professor. I haven't burned today's collection of waste paper yet. My X-ray vision has located the exam papers, but it would take an ordinary being hours to find it in that pile. But eerily, relax, Professor. I'll take a look in my pail. Ah, yes, I see exactly where those papers are. They're right near a discarded typewriter ribbon in the center of the pile. What's Lundgren babbling about? I don't see anything but water. Is this some gag? There you are, Professor, your exam papers. Fantastic. you reached blindly into that heap and plucking out my missing papers. Good grief, does he also have X-ray vision? How did you do it? I have the power of scrying, sir. The ability to read secrets and mysteries from the reflections in water, or in a mirror, or a crystal ball. I inherited it from my mother. Kent, this was an incredible demonstration of extrasensory perception. As a psychologist, I've always wanted to experiment with ESP, and Lundgren here should make a perfect subject for my investigations. You think so? Come to my psychology lab, both of you. I want to confirm this strange power at once. Yeah, I come, Professor. This should be interesting. Soon in the laboratory, these 25 Zener cards used in ESP experiments are marked with a cross, a square, a circle, a star, and 2 wavy lines. You'll sit behind that barrier and use your scrying power to guess which card's ideal from the deck. Presently, as Lundgren gazes into a mirror, I see a star and a square, another star, a circle, a cross, a double wavy line. Unbelievable! He guessed the correct symbol every time. He's not guessing, Kent. He's scrying. Power gives him an X-ray mind. It's as if he can see through that barrier. But as the experiment proceeds, square, star, circle, second circle, cross, circle, wavy line. What's happening? Your scrying powers are a flop. You're calling out the wrong symbols. Wait, Professor, you're wrong. My checklist shows some amazing results. Lundgren calls seeming correct, but my list shows that actually each time he was predicting the next card before you turned it face up. Then he has precognition, the ability to predict and prophecy. We'll continue the test another time, but until then, don't demonstrate your power to anyone, Lundgren, and both of you keep this a secret. If criminals were to find out, well, I understand, sir. We'll keep mum. An incredible find. All my life I've worked for a mere pittance, but with Lundgren's scrying power at my command, his predictions can win me a fortune at the racetrack or on the stock market. But later. Oh, Mr. Kent, I promised I wouldn't do any scrying, but there's something I just saw in my water pail. A railroad accident happening at Cross Bay Bridge. Why is he telling me? Is it because he's guessed who I really am? What are you waiting for? You're Superman. Hundreds may die unless you save them. So he does know all about me. There's no use playing dumb. Don't be afraid. I've known your secret for years. I'll never betray you. Up and away. All right, Lundgren. I'll handle the emergency at once. But as Superman streaks to the bridge, there's a train going over the bridge, but no sign of trouble. Did Lundgren's scrying power flub? Or was he trying to con me into revealing my identity? Suddenly, the lift bridge accidentally opened. That streamliner's going to plow into the open span unless... But Superman's eye-blurring super speed and mighty super sinews saved the day. I forgot. Lundgren's second sight can also predict the future. Wow, this could have been a catastrophe if he hadn't warned me. But that night, Lundgren's strange powers put to a more sinister use. But Prof. Borwin, opening this door, we'd be breaking the rules. Nonsense. I have the permission of the physics department. I don't like this. The reflection in the water. There's going to be an explosion. Now, don't panic. All I'm asking is that you cooperate in a little experiment in ESP. Just use your scrying power to predict which combination will open the lock. I heard some of the lab staff developed an atomic formula which transmutes any metal into gold. All right, Professor, I'll try to scry the combination. I can see it now. left 15, right 4, left 12, right 9. Stocks, races, who needs them? If I can get that gold transmutation formula, any nation would pay me a fortune for it. At last, as the door swings wide, I heard they keep a sample of the radioactive formula shielded in a special glass case. That must be it. But greedy fingers are so nervous they fumble and it slipped. It's going to. Even as the vial erupts in a blast of radioactivity, I was checking on Lundgren with my telescopic vision when I saw this happening. Too late to save Boren, but maybe my invulnerable body can shield Lundgren. So that's why Boren wanted me to keep Lundgren's scrying a secret. He was planning to use it for his own crooked purposes. Lundgren's unconscious. Hope he's not too badly hurt. Later, in the college infirmary, that explosion would have killed you, Mr. Lundgren, if Superman hadn't been there. Yeah, I think my name is Lundgren, but I remember no explosion. And what is a Superman? The shock destroyed his memory, so he can't tell us how or why Borwin got into the lab. Poor Lundgren must have been mopping the hall when the explosion happened. Let them keep thinking that the truth would be even harder to believe. Poor Lundgren, he can't remember his chores from day to day. They're keeping him on for odd jobs out of charity. His memory's gone and his amazing scrying power. Too bad. We could have made a great super team, preventing disasters before they occurred. But that's all over now. The end. A demand classic, Vigilante. Is it possible for Vigilante to corral an infamous gang of owl hoots without the use of his sight, speech, or hearing? The famed rider of the Purple Sage was determined to prove the truth of an old Western legend and protect the reputations of a crime-busting trio. But in order to do this, he had to make come true the impossible legend. A masked law enforcer's a sitting duck for us now. He's deaf, dumb, and blind. Yep, reckon Vigilante's gunned down his last outlaw. One morning as Greg Sanders, the prairie troubadour, and his young pal, Stuff, arrived to entertain in the town of Red Valley Junction. No, you're not taking the law into your own hands. Wow, the sheriff seems to be having a head of trouble with the townsfolk, Greg. Yes, Stuff. Reckon Vigilante better look into this pronto. Moving to a secluded spot, Greg undergoes a hasty change of garments. Here's your mask, Vig. To become Vigilante, gallant masked rider for law and order. Then back with the angry crowd. Tear 'em down. Those statues are a pack of lies. They're making the town look silly. Nobody can say for sure anymore whether the legend's true or false. But let me tell the whole story for those of you who never heard it. This is the famous legend of the 3 disabled deputies, Stuff. I remember the story well. Listen. It all began when deputies Blake, Carter, and Wright were hot-footing it after the Jade River Bandits. They had him cornered, neat as pumpkin pie, aboard the old Highland Limited, when there goes one of them. Look out, he dropped a bomb. The bomb burst plumb in the middle of them. And when they awoke next morning in the hospital, the trio received the biggest shock of their lives. Sorry, man, but you, Carter, will never see again. Blake, your jaw is shattered. You'll never be able to talk again. And you, Wright, you're stone deaf. Oh, no. What's he say? But those 3 didn't give up. No siree. Within a week, they were out fighting again. Hot on the trail of the Jade River gang. I'll be your eyes, Carter. Shoot 6 inches to the left, waist high. Got it, partner. And by helping each other over his handicap, they won out. Say, there's Vigilante. Maybe he can tell us whether the legend is true or false. Sorry, Sheriff. The courthouse with their fighting records was burned down. I can't prove it, but I'm sure the legend is true. Haha, quit pulling our legs, Vigilante. I'll bet even you'd have to give up owl hoot chasing if you had one of those handicaps. All right, maybe I can give you folks living proof. I understand the Benton gang's been roaming these parts. Supposing I try to catch them 2 at a time, each time with a different handicap. I reckon that ought to convince you. The startled townsfolk accept Vigilante's challenge, so shortly afterward. Here you go, Vigilante. These pads over your ears will make you as deaf as the right was, and of course you're on your honor. Agreed. I'll sit out tomorrow, stone deaf, and see what happens. Next day, I have to play this one lone hand stuff. Be seeing you. Good luck, Vidge. Gee, you can't hear me anyhow. So long. Meanwhile, deep in the hills. I tell you, it's true, boss. Vigilante's gonna try and corral 2 of us today, and he's gonna be stone deaf. Why, that crazy law-riding cowpoke. He's playing right into our hands. We'll get rid of him for sure now. Hours later, as Vigilante makes camp for the night, they say Vigilante sleeps with his ears awake. Wow, this is one time that saying won't come true. As soon as it's dark, we'll be able to move right in on him. Sure thing, Benton. And as darkness falls, stop pussyfooting. Noise doesn't matter, just as long as he ain't looking this way. Yeah, I keep forgetting Vigilante's not dangerous anymore. But suddenly, howdy, boys, I've been expecting you. Howlin' prairie dogs, how do you hear us? Who cares? Run for it. Make for the river. He'll shoot us up for sure. Those 2 are perfect targets for my lariat. You critters messed up when you tripped over my semicircle of string around the camp. It tugged at my fingers, tipping me off. Afterward, when the crack western fighter returns to town, great going, Vigilante. You sure proved the first part of the legend. Gosh, Vig, with the river for protection on one side and your tripwire string trap on the other, you sure outfoxed them. Which legend will you try to prove next? I reckon chasing Owl Hoots blind is the toughest legend to prove stuff, so I'd better save that one for the last. Tomorrow I'll hit the trail without my voice. Next morning as Outlaw Benton hears the news, so Vigilante is gonna come after us without using his voice, eh? Well, that's right nice, 'cause he's playing right into our hands. Remember how we always wanted to rob the Canyon City telephone office? The only thing that stopped us was all them switchboards there. But now, with Vigilante's voice gone, it'll be a cinch. You'll see. That evening, as Benton and his men ride out of the hills near Canyon City. He's tailing us all right, boss. Good. Just keep playing it like we planned. And shortly, Canyon City, the main trunk line to all the towns south. Now, what are those critters doing at the telephone company? Great thunder. They must be robbing the telephone company safe. But as Vigilante plunges through the doorway to the main switchboard room, he's in the trap. Close that fire door. What? And as the second heavy door slams shut, suffering sagebrush, trapped with 100 phone connections, and I can't use one. By the time I break out, they'll be far away. Wait a minute. I can't break my word of honor by speaking, but there may be another way. Moments later at the city's telegraph office, beep, 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 beep. What in tarnation? Great ghosts. Those are Morse code signals. And by the time Vigilante breaks out of the building, I've scuttled my cycle and, there's a posse chasing 2 of them right back here. My message did get through. Abruptly, a lariat whizzes through the air and, yow! Nice going, Vigilante. The other two got away on us. Half a cake is still better than none, I always say. Afterward, thought the telegraph man was loco when he gave us your Morse code message. Sure was slick, buzzing the switchboard like that. Only one more legend to prove now, eh, Vigilante? One more, Sheriff, but it's the toughest. Don't know how I'm going to catch Benton without my eyesight. Next day, a storekeeper in Red Valley Junction greets a strange customer with an even stranger order. Great jumping jackrabbits, Vigilante. You want a bushel of each of these items? That's right, old-timer, and I just hope the last two Alhoots will be as shocked as you are over that list. Meanwhile, out in the mountains, Benton, why don't we just take off and run for it? Look what Vigilante's done already. Quit talking like a weak-kneed calf. Vigilante might have beaten us deaf and he might have beaten us without a voice, but no one can operate stone blind. This time we'll get him for sure. Shortly, along the railroad tracks below. Riding these tracks can guide me right into Benton's hideout neighborhood. But using myself as bait when I'm blind will call for some mighty fast action. There he is, riding toward us blind as a bat. That low-beard law lover is a clay pigeon now. And as hot lead whistles down from the mountain, they spotted me. Time to go into action. At 100, 110, 120 miles an hour, Vigilante starts burning up the track. Must time it perfectly, the right place in the exact middle of the next curve. It should be close. Gotta cut him off, he's getting away. Seconds later, as the blinded rider feels his cycle sway on the curve. Ups-a-daisy. Sure hope I've got the right spot. Haven't hit anything yet. My memory must be right. Moments later, look, there's his cycle tracks, boss. We got him. The fool couldn't get very far because he had to remove his tires to ride the tracks. He must be holed up in that cave. Come on, we'll close in and drop him. And as the two killers crawl forward, Hey, Benton, what are these Indian nuts doing on the ground? Where'd they come from? Who cares? You gonna let a blind man frighten you? Just keep low so he can't blast wild like and tag us by luck. That probably is his plan. Suddenly, look out, he's making his move. Then, time to play blind man's bluff. Huh? Pepper, he's blinded us. The game's even, Benton. You can't see me and I can't see you. But unwittingly, you've given me the advantage this time. Every move you make on those cracking Indian nuts reveals your location to me. Got to fire low. Don't want to kill them. Just wing their legs. Okay, I'm tired of playing, Benton. Throw in your dice or my bullets will nail you smack into the ground. Stop. We give up, Vigilante. Later, thunderation. Rigging that bushel of black pepper up to your psycho exhaust pipe sure did the trick, Vigilante. Folks are plumb convinced the legends are true now. You bet, Vig. Wow, corralling owl hoots blind. Stuff, I reckon this affair calls for some music. Let's put in a call for our friend Greg Sanders. And so that evening, Vigilante puts the three legendary deputies down in musical history as he sings in his everyday role of Greg Sanders, the Prairie Troubadour. Yes, sirree. Sure hope old Vigilante comes back to see us again. Oh, the three old-time deputies, so brave and strong, rounded up the owl hoot gang that he had done wrong. The end.